This just in, breaking news, Games Workshop have just finished their big preview and I'm going to give you the brief overview of what was said. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do click that subscribe button for more videos to come, or if you want to support the channel, check some of the links below. Now, I have just finished, like 5 minutes ago, watching Games Workshop's latest big preview. It was a 2-hour stream they did on Twitch, and I thought I'd give you the brief 5-10 minute version of what was said. So, first things first, I'm going to give you some of the best bits. It's new models. We've been waiting for some new models. I think we've known this is coming and we want to see some new stuff. So what have they done? Well, we've got Primaris combat dudes with chainsaws. They did a cool little trailer, like a little animation. Check that below, the link down there if I can get it for you. And they have done a cool trailer of some Space Marines and some Sisters of Battle and some guards killing some Necrons. For all the Primaris fans out there, we have new Primaris combat models. These look like intercessors, at least, with chainswords. The game is trying to push towards being more combat orientated with different rules changes as well, which I will tell you about later on. The models look cool. For me, a tiny bit bland, but hoping they're not just one-click models that we have to just deal with those sort of same 5 or 10 poses. But I don't think they will be. I think they've left them relatively clear so we can add on bits to different chapters. So looks pretty good to me. They also showed us a new Primaris leader, some sort of lieutenant maybe, with what I think is a Volkite pistol and a big cool shield. He was in the animation as well. I was desperate to see him and they did flick that towards the end. Although oddly, they didn't show it in the stream. They showed like the website first. So they kind of like double spoiled themselves. I don't know, maybe it's just to drive us towards the new website, but yeah, looks cool. They also showed us some new Necrons. They showed us new Necron warriors. Gone are the days of the old little robot men with the green tubes. I think they're more sort of chunky boys now, bigger, armored guys. These look pretty cool, heavy. I'm not a huge Necron fan myself, to be honest, but I do like the look of these new models. Am I going to miss the little tiny green bubbly plastic tube? Maybe. Let me know if you guys will, right down below. Maybe you don't need to buy boxes of these, maybe just for the new weapons. They also showed us the big 4-legged combat thing, like a big combat Necron Spider-Man who's come back, which is great. I really like the look of that model, actually. I wish I'd known about it slightly earlier, because I'm doing some conversions now, and maybe big spider legs would have come in handy. And then at the very end of the stream, the last thing we saw was flashes of what I assume is the Silent King. Now, they didn't actually show us the whole model. They just showed us like flashes in between music beats. If you haven't seen it, check that out as well. Looks cool. Can't tell you entirely what it is. It just sort of looks like a decent paint job. So I guess we'll find out more. I was expecting that to come today at the very end, at least the whole model. We didn't get it. I guess it won't be too long until it comes out. Some awesome new models there. Great things to think about, especially for me as I'm doing my own new Broadsword Legion now. It's nice to have some combat-orientated stuff because, you know, there'll be swords. Next big news, well, I guess for everyone, is a new edition of Warhammer 40,000. It doesn't look like Warhammer 40k 9th edition. It's more like 8.5. So good news is all of our codexes at the moment, I think, are going to be in date, and they're not going to be removing them anytime soon because, I mean, they haven't even finished releasing all the Psychic Awakening stuff yet. So how can they put out new codexes when they're still working on old ones or ones that just come out? So great news. Don't have to spend hundreds of pounds on new codexes again. Just a new book and some other probably new expansions and other FAQs. But we'll worry about that when that happens, right? New edition, we don't know a lot about it. They gave us 9 points. So I'm going to go over those as quickly as I can with you, just to explain what they said to us in short, so you don't have to spend 2 hours watching their video. This is what it was. The first point they said is it's more refined. They didn't really go into too much detail about what that means, but apparently they've listened to the 10,000s of people that have written in about all the different problems they've had with the rules, and they've decided to streamline it and make it a little bit easier. So that's what we've all kind of wanted, which is why I feel it's going to be Warhammer 8.5. The next point they made is they've done like a new, I assume it's like a play style, like a Crusade system. This is meant to lead toward narrative play. So I think it's called like Warhammer Crusade, I don't know. But what it is you can play games from small battles up to larger battles. And as you go, your characters, I assume, gain XP and die. They said something about if a leader of yours dies or gets too seriously wounded, he can become a dreadnought. It looks like leveling up characters, things like that, which appeals to me a lot. I'm a big RPG style player. I love Mordheim and Gorkamork and all those old classic games that they've done. Obviously, I'm a Kill Team fan and a Kill Team player. Is this signaling the death of Kill Team finally from Games Workshop? I know we've had a few releases over a while, but they've had very rushed rules for some new models. Demons didn't really get a look at. Sisters of Battle have kind of done. I know they did new Sisters of Silence rules recently, so maybe Kill Team is just staying where it is now, and that's the end of that game as far as new releases. Maybe not, I don't know, I could be wrong. But Crusade feels like Actually, I did a video a while ago on Kill Team version 2 and what I thought it might be. And this seems to kind of be, I mentioned dreadnoughts, I mentioned tanks, and I get the feeling this is like that larger scale 350 point type Kill Team games you want to play, but in the 40k rules. So interesting from them, see how that develops and see what we think of that. The third point they made was about command points, how everyone loves them, how they've worked, and I do think they're pretty cool in the system. It gives nice little like flips you can do and some sort of nice finesse plays. Apparently now you can just get more command points. Maybe they're hinted towards less soup now, so there might be less soupy armies. You might be able to play straight knights with enough command points to do them, or you might not need to just constantly pay that 2 HQ, 3 troop choice tax to get extra command points to make your armies work. So that would be quite nice and very interesting to see. The next one, number 4, is tanks. Tanks can shoot into combat now. So rather than getting tied down by like charged by 10 grots or something, and your tanks can't do anything, now you can shoot into combat and still use them as playable things. Which makes sense. You've got giant tanks that are grinding tracks, running things over. They want to be able to still blast with their cannons and blast to destroy other things. So now they can without getting tied up by some weird tactical play that is in the book. Terrain. Terrain is the next point. They didn't really hint too much as to what to change with terrain, just that it's now more of a thing. So you've got more incentive to stay and be like an objective holding terrain piece, or you can charge out more now or charge into it. That's kind of what they said. They didn't tell us exactly what it is. Maybe we're looking at some sort of like different cover bonuses or hit modifiers or something, but whatever it is, might lead, because they've done new intercessor combat men, might lead combat armies to have a bit more of a chance now of getting across the board without getting blasted by the gunline armies. Interesting. I assume it's going to be something positive for those combat armies, and particularly now tanks can't get locked into combat, as the previous thing they said. That's probably what that's going towards. Well, at least that's what I think. What do you think? I don't know. Apparently they've balanced the game on size, so if you're playing big games and small games, it's all going to work a bit better, a bit smoother, and you can play games of Warhammer 40k in like less than an hour, which has always been the releases they've been pushing out recently. Look at all the smaller games and those skirmish style games. Maybe they're trying to get 40k to appeal to those small skirmish type players. You can have a game on your coffee table rather than a 3-hour slog of a 2,000 point game. Strategic resources, they said they've changed. I don't really know what that means. I guess we'll find out, but that's the bullet point I received from there, a kind of a non-point. Blast weapons are coming back. I don't think in the sense of templates. That's not what they said. But blast weapons is going to be a new profile, or a profile that comes back. And this essentially means your vehicles or any big weapons you've got, like frag, missile launchers, stuff like that, battle cannons, demolisher battle cannons. If it's a 2d6 hit weapon, it's going to hit maximums. It's going to hit 12. So firing those big explosive weapons into horde units is now going to be more beneficial because you're going to be able to hit the maximum amount. So look at your basilisks and things like that. This is going to make tanks quite effective, and the fact that they've made them be able to shoot even when engaged in combat might make them even harder. So it'd be interesting to see how they come around that. I assume we'll get some FAQs at some point, but good and looks cool. I quite like it. I've missed the old flamer templates. I missed my frag missile launchers, so this will be quite cool and something better for the game again, I think. Lastly, it's about flyers. They said now flyers, rather than just flying over and if you fly them off the board, they're gone and dead, they can come back. Is this going to be the new meta? We'll have Eldar flyers, flying, shooting, turning, strafing runs, and then flying off the board so they can't get shot, coming back and doing it again. I imagine there'll be some rules in place to stop that kind of thing happening. But flyers are now going to have a bit more use. I don't think they have like troops can block them in as well. So yeah, I don't quite know what they're going to do with that. But the fact you can fly them off the board and come back means you're not always stuck to those lines, and that's not always going to be an issue where you're flying off the board on turn 3. This has been a mighty weekend of reveals and chat. A big part, which obviously they didn't mention in this, and I think that's why they did this and put the price changes out beforehand, but the price of your miniatures is going to go up. They said something like they've got 3,000 or 4,000 lines of miniatures, and around 400 to 450 have gone up. They've actually put a price list out now. I don't know if they put it out or it's out, but we can see it. And most things have gone up that are on that price list by 10 to 20%. Things like Land Raiders are up another tenner. That's from £50 to £60 for your normal Land Raider. That's expensive. Old models, oddly, are the things that have gone up quite a lot. So look at your Guard. They've done lots of like Underworld stuff. Blood Bowl teams have gone up as well. Leave Blood Bowl alone! Or Brittany. That's changed. So they've gone up now in price as well. You've got until I think the 1st of June, which is only next week, to get these models ordered at the older prices. Whether it's something for them to recoup a load of money now and force people to buy toys that they were thinking about buying, or whether or not they feel they need to up the prices because there've been losses and things. Obviously, it's very poor timing on their part, as we are all still in the midst of lockdown. People are relying on government money now, people have lost their jobs, people still aren't at work, and it seems a bit of a bad thing to do considering they just showed massive profit gains last year, and apparently, I don't know if it's true, but the CEO of Games Workshop is now worth as much as the one of British Oil. If you're not from England or Britain, then British Oil or British Gas is kind of a huge business, and the guy is rich. So Games Workshop, having come off the back end of showing a lot of profits, and everyone being in lockdown and not having any money, just seems a bit poor and very poorly timed to do a price increase. Do I think it's the worst thing? Obviously, I want my models cheaper, but I was chatting actually with Kira the other day, and all hobbies are expensive. Makeup, perfume, all that kind of stuff is very expensive. Clothes, everything's kind of going up in price. I'm not against price rises in general. I just think it's very bad timing, and it's not something else I would rather it be cheaper. Hobbies are expensive. That's what this is. I'm not hating on Games Workshop for it, but I don't think it's very nice of them to do it right now. I understand why they'd want to do it right now, I guess, but it's hard really to say that it's justified, because our models are so expensive already. How do you feel about the price rises? I'm sure, along with everyone else in the community, nobody really likes them. But we'll move on swiftly from that one and move on to something else. The Psychic Awakening books. We have just had, I've just received the latest one, The Prophecy of the Wolf, or whatever it's called. That's just come out. They said there's going to be 9. They confirmed the order on these today, although I think most people already knew this. The next one we've got, book 7, is going to be Engine War. This is Admech, Knights, Chaos Knights, and demons. So I think the idea is there's like a planet being attacked by demons and Chaos Knights, and there's other guys, Admech and Skitarii, trying to block and hold whatever the planet or the idea of this is. The next book, book 8, is War of the Spider. This, as we already know, is Fabius Bile. He's there doing all his mad, crazy stuff that he's been doing for years. Custodes, I think, are getting some love. Imperial Assassins or Agents, I think Assassins are getting something, I guess, trying to kill Fabius Bile. And oddly enough, as with the Way of Chaos, Death Guard are also in this book. They do need it. Death Guard have been, knocking around for a while now since we got the very first new releases. Be interesting to see what they do with those. I think they're trying to get rid of Fabius Bile as well. Who isn't? The man's a big madman who wears skin for a cape. And the final book, book 9 of the Psychic Awakening series, is Pariah. This is going to be the Necrons that we've just seen in some of the pre-releases as well. That's cool, that's exciting. Necrons, I say, aren't really an army for me, but it's nice to see them move everything forward. I've been playing 40k for years, since like 3rd edition or whatever, and it's good to see the story moving on. It'd be nice to catch up a bit now, and I'm enjoying the Psychic Awakening series because there's interesting things happening, and I know they're changing things around. I don't agree with everything, but I agree with them doing it in general. So very cool, good work on Games Workshop for that one. And lastly, but not necessarily the least important, they're doing a load of books called Dawn of Fire, and this is some sort of Dawn of Fire releases as a novel section. I don't really know what it's about. It's got Space Marines on, apparently it's going to be new and it's more modern stuff, so it's them really bringing the story forwards. It's written by the same people who did the Horus Heresy stuff, which I love. I love the Horus Heresy books, some of my favourites, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing where they go with this. I was a bit excited when they said Dawn of Fire. I was hoping Rogel Dawn, the man supposedly missing his fist, is coming back, because I'm a huge Imperial Fist lover. But yeah, I guess we'll find out, and I'll give those a read. And as I do, maybe I'll let you guys know what I think of those as well at some point down the future. If you guys watch the videos for yourselves, what did you think to it? What did you think of the previews? 2-hour stream, felt a bit long overall for me. A lot of sort of filler and a bit of chatting, but interesting if you're into that kind of stuff. There's a couple of little Easter eggs in there. I think it was kind of a joke, but on the back wall when we were chatting to one of the people on there, it said something about Angron, about plastic Thunderhawk gunships, and it just said that Dark Angels are the best Legion. So I assume they left that on the whiteboard just for a bit of a joke. But obviously, Dark Angels are not the best Legion. Just so you know, it's the Imperial Fists. Who else would it be? Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, what did you think to it? What new things are you thinking it's going to come up soon? How do you feel about potentially the death of Kill Team now? How do you feel about the new models? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going, because I'm super excited. I'm out here in the west of Ireland on my own in a studio. I've got no one to talk to because I'm in lockdown, so please guys, give me some hobby love. If you've enjoyed the video, please do remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the alarm bell for more videos to come. Check all the links below. I've got a Discord group for my patrons. That's great. These guys have been awesome support, so thanks so much for that. There's some links to buy your models from, Element Games. There's Grim Dice Gaming over in Grimsby in the UK. Use the code BWG for a coupon there as well. I've got my Amazon shop starting up. I get a small cut from that, so check that out if you want to buy any hobby supplies. And finally, there's nothing else to say. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I will catch you again in another video. Take care and enjoy yourself.